I don't know why this is not showing me. This is what's showing for me. So I just get. Yeah, I don't know I don't know why it's like that. No idea. So. Is there anything that can tell us that? You don't know. Not seeing it in the video. I did, that's what this is. No idea. I guess. Yep. Brenny, can you hear me?
Yes,
What do you see on the screen? Is it just purple?
just purple.
Stay tuned.
Will do.
Rennie, can you still hear me? Rennie, can you hear me?
I'm actually gonna come in. I got my wife squared away, so I'm gonna run over there. I'll be there in about 15 minutes.
Okay, but you can hear me because we're
Okay.
making sure that,
Thanks.
hold on,
Bye.
can you hear Andrea?
Alyssa, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear anyone else? Rennie, can you hear Andrea talking? Rennie? Rennie, can you hear anyone else talking? Yeah, I know, but we're trying to see if he can hear. Yeah,
Oh, someone's room. Can you put the camera? It's checking me.
I can't get the camera on. This is what it looks like.
Oh, then we can't do it.
I have no idea why it looks like this. I don't think so, but I can't.
So, okay, well, you can sound for something, so we're gonna try that one. See what they can do.
But tell him like, this is what my camera looks like. Don't hang up.
Oh, hang on. Her camera looks like, yeah, it's purple.
Hi, I'm sorry. If I turn on my video in the Zoom, it's just a purple screen. It's not us. It's not me.
Maybe that's. We reschedule. We reschedule once it's there is on the order.
Yes. No. Oh, I can see the white light. Oh, wait, there it is. Yep, I didn't even know that was there. Okay. Can you see me? Okay, so Andrea, let's see you. So I can turn it towards Andrea. And you, if you're on YouTube, can you see? Can hear Andrea? There's a delay.
I'll just maybe answer the mic that they see.
He can't hear.
It doesn't matter. I can't do.
Okay, he can't hear her.
I don't think there's any. I just check that I.
Right, are we,
Somebody says needed.
Andrea just did.
I don't think anybody.
Are we going to need to reschedule?
Okay. So I can hear both of you. People can't cuss.
I have, he is on YouTube. He can't.
It's on 10.
He can't hear through my.
What's the delay? You can see that. We're trying to think.
But I was waiting. But he was the one who was yeah. She said it's like she's not just. That's about it. So, what do you see is, what's working for us? Getting the microphone here, that's. Was it through your internal microphone or that mic? Is it the internal microphone or the microphone? I don't know. So just talking at the same time. Yeah. I don't know, because we advertise it as hybrid, that's what Barbara's worried about. If it says hybrid and our people were logged in, it looks like they logged out. Participate. Yeah. Hold on, here, talks with Janet as.
Please. The microphone seems to be working for almost light. What stays for here, or use our microphone and vice versa, when it's a speaker. Yeah, so yeah. If you started, at least you started boiling with the back and you doesn't matter.
Or the audio in the back.
Oh, it's seven. It's selection.
Seven. Base. Let's do this. So let's do this. So this up is something. This device is spread out. We're filling the order. What about last week? I don't know, the meeting lost. I'm not sure. Yeah. You realize how many people are here? It doesn't matter. Oh. Yeah. So go should start spreading. I don't know if you. Let's go see that first. Good times. Bye. I can. So. The ID is 889. So give me that. Okay. 2873. 4119. And then it's the one with all the, not that one. It's that one. So. Oh. All right. Zero. I'm going to say zero. Zero capital T. Yes. Then ZXU, all lowercase. 9. Lowercase I, capital W. Recording. I had my
Their persons. And have people come up here or closer. Well, you gotta. All right, can you see here? Yeah, and actually, I know there's a couple, Tanya or Scott, if you could text me to let me know if you could. I know you see me, if you could hear me, text me. Alicia, can you grab my phone? So anybody, Scott or Tanya, can you text, please, if you could hear?
I can hear.
Oh, Scott says that he can hear me. You can hear me, Scott? 2 cameras now and can hear you.
This is Rennie.
All right, awesome. Thank you, guys. All right, we should be starting soon. Just have to set up this new system. All right, so we have people up here to speak? Yep. Okay, here we go. Should I bring the platform here? That seems problematic. Yeah. Let's just council members will also have to come up here. Right, and that'll be going back and forth. Go ahead. Go. And you'll see yourself right here and you address me and we should find an extension for plug in because I can find it. Can you hear me, Scott?
We're testing. Hold on 1 second.
Hey, Scott, can you see? Well, let's test to see if this will work. You need to unmute first, Scott. And I'll take care of the camera in a second. It's set for the public speakers.
He's got to click it on his end.
I know it's not complicated enough yet, so Kate might be done in about 2 hours.
Scott, can you hear us?
I'll need to leave.
I can hear you.
If
Okay,
that's-
so Scott's talking.
Okay.
Scott's talking. Can we hear him? Who's logged in?
Can you hear anything?
Well, it has to be. Go ahead, Scott, please talk.
I can hear you now.
I don't hear it on here.
Can you hear me?
Oh, wait, 2 hours. What time is it?
Hello?
It's an hour and a half.
All right, Scott, I'm gonna mute you again. We're just trying to figure out
Okay.
how to make the
Okay.
connection.
This battery, I can't find an extension cord anywhere in my office.
Here we go.
Oh, can you join it?
The only thing is, I need Angela to show me how to bring this back up. I don't know how she did this.
Why am I the only person there?
Is your microphone on?
Can you see Penny here? Can you hear us? The cameras are clicked. How do we move this? How do we move that?
On the website as we're looking at it or from they're looking at it. The one on the website.
Make sure he can hear us. Testing. But there's an echo. Is this one? Hello?
Are we still?
Yes. I don't think so. Why is it so? Test. Test. Why do we have such feedback? On? This was one thing, so we could get this. seated. Just in case. Should I turn this off? Can we hear now? Think so. It's on. It's just a. Screens. There's.
Viewer.
I'm gonna. We have to do something to send it back. Oh. Mute yourself. Mute you. Mute your computer. This one? Yep.
Testing again. I pressed the button here, so that might have worked. So Pete, let me know if this is working. So that works. I'm getting confirmation from folks that this is working on YouTube. Oh. All right, I'm getting yeses. All right, we could party now. Thank you all for your patience. We ended up, Plan A actually worked out. We ought to just wait an hour long for that to happen. If anybody ever wants to talk to me about what Plan A, B through E were, I'm happy to have coffee with you. So we're about to start. I'm looking to make sure we have all the council members in attendance. We do. Before we finally begin, a couple quick public service announcements. For an emergency, please note the exits on either side of the chambers and proceed down the stairs. Bathrooms are located out the door to my left, the women's room to the right, and the men's room is actually out of order, so you'd need to go down one floor to use the men's room. We allow 30 minutes for public speaking. If you have not done so already, please sign up at the podium or through the Zoom chat. Please note that the council does have rules of decorum for our meetings, including the public speaking portion of the meeting. We ask that respect is shown to all community members, whether they serve on the council, on the staff, or are here as a public member. We are all sorry. Not only are we here tonight to listen to the voice of the public, but we are also here to run government proceedings. In order to best serve us all, we cannot have any distractions. When a speaker is addressing the council, no disruptions are permitted. This includes talking over, yelling, and clapping. Their freedom of speech allows for uninterrupted time. When this body proceeds with the business of the day, we also need to have no disruptions. As per Open Meeting Law, Section 103, interruption of a speaker or government proceedings will not be tolerated. After one warning, anyone who interrupts a speaker or the proceedings of today's meeting will be removed from chambers. I am now calling this Common Council meeting to order at 8:32 p.m. on August 1st, 2023. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. May I please have roll call?
Alderman Frankel.
Present.
Alderman Scott Childress. Alderman Worthington.
Here.
Alderman Muhammad. Alderman Dennison. Alderman Shabbat.
Here.
Alderman Hirsch.
We have a quorum. Can I have a motion to dispense with the minutes of the previous meeting and approve same? Motion by Michelle Hirsch, second by Steve Shabbat. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is adopted 7-0. Can I have a motion to dispense with the reading of the general bills? Motion by Rita Worthington, second by Steve Shabbat. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is adopted 7-0. We're now entering into the public speaking portion of the meeting. We have allotted 30 minutes for this purpose. Speakers will have 3 minutes. If there are remaining speakers after 30 minutes, I will call for a motion from the council to extend the period for another 30 minutes. Speakers, please direct your comments to the chair, as council members cannot engage in debate during this time. Please state your name and address on the record before you begin. For the audience in chambers and on Zoom, there could be no distractions when a speaker is addressing the council. The Common Council has also received written comments for our consideration, and they could be found on the city's website under tonight's agenda. May I have the first speaker, please?
Matt Ross.
Sir, you might just need to press the power button on that mic.
If the green light is on, it
The
works.
green light is on, then you're good. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Matt Ross. I'm a council representative with the Carpenters Local 279 here in the Hudson Valley. I'm proud and humbled to be the one that represents our carpenters here in Ulster County. So I would like to talk to you tonight and try to understand why companies with apprenticeship programs have a problem with graduation rates, or why you, the board, would want to even hear about a company that doesn't agree with some sort of regulation for their apprenticeship program. It's a common thing when you think about it. We're talking about accountability. Look at the companies that sit on the board at Merit Alliance or Apprenticeship Alliance. Companies like Marcy, Chairman Rick Winty. Go on their website. Not a mention about apprenticeship programs. Nothing about apprentices anywhere on their website, how to get into an apprenticeship program, or that they have one. This is the chairman of the board. I may have been on the wrong website because they've recently had a name change. There's been a fatality on this man's job site as recent as March, followed up with a documentation by the state troopers report on the situation. That's the chairman of the company that you're taking information from. Not here, where the local unions stand, where we live in your communities, where we support your communities with our apprentices, with apprenticeship language. Apprenticeship language is very important. Now, you can go down the line with the rest of the board members. You can go to Dave from Caluso and Sons, past chairman. No apprenticeship language on his website. You can go to Amos from Vinco Builders. Nothing about employment or apprenticeship programs. Now, these are the board members of Merit that don't represent apprenticeship, that are here asking for you to lessen the requirements to have an credible, accountable apprenticeship program. That's what we're asking. We believe the city of Kingston is better than that. That you stand with appropriate language. That you understand that our language protects your residents, your young people that are coming into our apprenticeship programs, all the trades here.
30
That's what we're
seconds, sir.
asking you to. Because if you don't stand for the apprenticeship programs, what do you stand for? Do you stand for open shops coming in here with lower standards? Because that's what the language change that you're asking for is going to do effectively. So I'll ask you, and God we trust, that you look at all the facts here and you listen to what's being said tonight, and please make the right decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Jeff Beck.
How you doing? My name is Jeff Beck. I'm the director of Build and Beyond, the Union Building Trades Pre-Apprenticeship Construction Program in the Hudson Valley. It's an 8-week program developing life and construction skills with a direct entry into any of the building trades affiliated upon graduation. So I'm here to talk about the apprenticeship language that's up for discussion for the night. My program is based out of Newburgh for the past 2.5 years, mainly recruiting out of Newburgh and Middletown and some of the areas, cities nearby. As the program continues to grow, we will be enlarging our recruitment areas, and we'll be looking to reach up into Ulster County, especially areas like Kingston. Build and Beyond gives an invaluable opportunity to a group of applicants that enriches their careers and lives with union building trade apprenticeships, including well-paying work with benefits in retirement. If you take apprenticeship language out, you will not only be robbing Kingston and surrounding areas of people great work and pay, that language being left out of contracts will deter me from recruiting deserving individuals in your community, because it wouldn't benefit them or the program to include them in this golden opportunity. Keep apprenticeship language in contracts so not only my program can succeed, but well-deserving individuals here in Kingston can have this opportunity at a great career in life. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Chris, and I can't understand your handwriting. Last name starts with a C.
Chris C. There's, so if you can't read your handwriting, so if you could say your full name. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Chris Cerrone. I'm the Ulster County Field Rep for Laborers Local 17 and Ulster County resident, and I thank you for the opportunity to address you guys tonight. I want to speak on behalf of the apprenticeship language as well. In the audience, you'll see lots of young women and men who are apprentices in our trades programs, only because, or primarily because, college wasn't a path for them. So these young kids need something to do. They want to live here in Ulster County. They want to stay in Ulster County. We need jobs for these kids. We can have the best apprenticeship programs, and I believe we do, but if it's not for entities like yourselves and the districts and the school districts and the big box stores and all the other entities that come into Ulster County to build, if you don't support apprenticeship program, where are they going to work? They want to stay here. They want to live here. They want to continue to be positive people in the community. They want to raise their families here and pay school taxes and property taxes. So from my perspective, I find it hard to believe that you're worried about or you're concerned about the 30% graduation rate. I would think you'd want the best and the brightest to continue to live here in Ulster County and stay in Ulster County. These kids are doing the classroom work, they're doing the field work, they're on time, they're responsible, and our programs are doing it the right way, because there's no other way to do it in our view than the right way. Secondly, I would remind you that apprenticeship programs allow for the altering of the prevailing wage. Any entity, public entity, has to pay prevailing wage, schools or municipalities. By having a signed apprenticeship program, you can pay less than the prevailing wage. I'm sure you guys have all dealt with budgets, and you have a fiduciary responsibility to your constituents to save money anywhere you can. Well, here's a perfect way to do it: apprenticeship. When you have a capital improvement project, you don't have to pay every single person on that job the prevailing wage for that trade. If you have apprentices, you can pay less than the posted prevailing wage for that job for a journeyman. That's not possible with somebody who doesn't have an apprenticeship program. You're going to have other projects coming out without apprenticeship programs that are going to be over budget or higher, which makes it impossible for you to do the projects you want, or not as many projects as you want. So I just wanted to reiterate that. I thank you for the time to speak here tonight and appreciate you guys listening.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Mike Ham.
And I was texted that it's a little low, so if you could speak into the microphone a little bit more, we'd all appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Good evening. Thank you, Council, for letting me speak here tonight. My name is Michael Ham. I'm the business representative of Local 825, the operating engineers, and I'm also a vice president to the Hudson Valley Building Trades here in the 5-6 counties down in the Hudson Valley. Recently, the Law and Rules Committee recommended to repeal the current apprenticeship language, which the Merit Alliance from Syracuse, New York, has implied directly impacts the small businesses performing construction contracts for the city, a statement that has no evidence to substantiate the claim, which would then beg the question, how did we get here tonight? Also, how is everyone voting on something that we didn't do a due diligence on to reveal if it doesn't work after it was unanimously approved less than 7 months ago here in this chambers? The truth of the matter is that Mrs. Hazer from the Merit Alliance would like to create a narrative to distract you from the one and only issue. The Merit Alliance does not graduate any people. There will be a shortage of construction labor in the very near future, and with that, cities like ours will be looking for the best trained, certified, and skilled workforce a real apprenticeship has to offer. And we know the current language delivers on that. We are your friends, we are your neighbors, and we're your constituents. And we ask that you refer Resolution 141 back to committee to provide all the facts on clarity for this matter. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Rich Whitney.
We're on, right?
Yep, you could just, if you could talk loudly so folks can hear you. Thank you.
Hi. So I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. My name is Richard Whitney. I'm a business representative from the Laborers Local 17. I'm also a graduate of the Local 17 Apprentice Program. So 15 years ago, I had no job, I had no skills, and I had no experience. I walked into Local 17 when they were having a hiring apprentice recruitment session, and I was given the opportunity to work for Local 17. Over those 15 years, I went from an apprentice to a journeyman to a foreman to a shop steward, and now I'm standing here in front of you as a business agent. Over those 15 years, I gained a lot of skills and a lot of experience. I've run jobs over $100 million, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for towns that adopt apprentice programs, apprentice language, that give people like me an opportunity. Because if the towns don't do it, if the school districts don't do it, then the jobs are harder to come by for apprentices. So I know you guys haven't had it that long. I appreciate that you have. I urge you to keep it. There are many towns in the Hudson Valley that have this language. The ones that come to mind are the Village of Monticello, the town of Fallsburg, town of Marlboro. They all seem to be very successful with it, with their public projects and the apprentice language. So I urge you guys to keep it, and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Cheryl Snyder.
Good evening. Well, really?
It's on.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for the opportunity to speak. I came here to speak about the zoning code, but before I do that, a couple other things came to mind. While I pulled into the parking lot, I saw all these union folks here, and then I found out what's going on. And I also experienced a huge delay yet again with technology. So first I want to say, and this is a professional recommendation, you get yourselves an IT person and you make this stuff work and you get someone in here an hour and a half before the meetings and make sure it's up. I don't care what it takes, it's worth it, because what this is abuse to your community. It's total disrespect to have people here for an hour and a half and be waiting because of tech again and again and again and again. So this is a common problem when you don't have on-site professionals. Please do that. Thank you. I also want to say that I am the proud member of a union household. And I totally support full graduation. 30% is nothing in any program. It's very low. If you have no graduation, that means you have no standards out there in the world. You have people who are a danger to themselves and each other, and a danger to whoever the contractors are, and it's a liability for the city. So please don't gut this. Please don't tell the people who know what's going on how it's supposed to be. The people who do this as a living, please do this. So no cutting, no cutting corners, because that's not what good union people do. Okay, so I want to talk about the zoning code, and I want to just say it's amazing that it's been a huge, long, deep process. I can speak for myself. I had no idea what a form-based code was when I first saw this thing. I wanted to run in the opposite direction, but I dug in a little bit, and I'm excited about what's gonna come. What I'm not excited about is calling inclusionary zoning is exclusionary. It is displacement, displacement, displacement. 80% of AMI is way too high. I thought we went over this with Stony Run and the regulatory agreement.
Seconds.
And we went over this, we went over this, we went over this. It's way too high at Stony Run. It's way too high for the rest of us in this community. It's going to be urban removal 2.0, displacement, displacement, displacement. So I'm saying that you need inclusionary zoning. That means using the AMI of Kingston, not the AMI of Ulster County, and it means taking that AMI down to 50 to 80, 30 to 50, because that's who we are here in Ulster County and Kingston. Thank you.
All right, that's all we have signed up. Scott, you texted me that you wanted to speak. Did you want to speak on Zoom? And then I'll open it up here. If anybody on Zoom, just raise your hands and Elisa will get you. Scott, did you want to speak?
Yes, please.
All right, hold on. Let me just turn this up. Can you just say hello again?
Hello, can you hear me?
Good out there? Oh, hi. All right, yep, you have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Madam President. Good evening, Common Council. Good evening, members of the public. I believe a lot of people know that I am the Republican conservative candidate for mayor of the city of Kingston in November. And I would like to start by first acknowledging the fine men and women of the Kingston Police Department for their hard work over this last several days and the tragedy that took place in the city of Kingston, which sadly had a very terrible end. But a big thank you to those folks for what they do. Also, bear with me 1 second here. Hello?
You're still here. Scott? That's not on our end.
Hello?
Hi, you're still here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened, but I lost you there for a second. The other thing I'd like to just take a moment to address is the use of the ARPA funds that, unfortunately, I still believe that one person, in this case, Mayor Noble, should not have sole control over, which unfortunately the council has granted him that control. I guess the real problem I have is that we just spent $25,000 on 5 block parties. And there's people right now in the city of Kingston that are homeless. I can't understand the rationality of how we're doing these expenditures when there's things that are in dire straits and people in need of help. We have a mental crisis on our hands. We have a drug problem on our hands. There's people in need. We're in trouble. and we're throwing block parties. I call it campaigning. I really think that the council needs to reconsider this, use the authority granted to them by the charter, and rein the mayor back in and take control of the ARPA money. One person should not be in control of $18.4 million. Case closed. And I can tell you this, as the mayor, if I were to be elected, I would want the council to oversee my office and not be in a position to exercise dictatorial power the way this mayor does. I'm asking the council tonight publicly to please reconsider the position with the ARPA funds and reallocate this money to places where it's best needed and can be used. Right now, we're not doing that. We're spending this money recklessly, and this is not fair, and there's a lot of people in need. There's a lot of landlords that have suffered through this process. They're still waiting to see money from what I was understanding today when I spoke to some of them. Please, please, please reconsider your position on the ARPA money and do what's best for the residents of Kingston and not what's best for Steve Noble. I thank you for your time.
Thank you. That was all we have signed up for speakers, but is there anybody else in council chambers who would like to speak? Just come on up. And if you could say your name and record for the record, or name and address for the record.
Hi, how you all doing? My name is Carolyn Riccardi. I live in New Paltz, New York, and a resident of Ulster County. And I am a carpenter, an apprentice carpenter with Local 279. I've been in the apprenticeship program, and I'm a third-year apprentice. But before I did this, I did residential construction in the Hudson Valley, in Rhinebeck, Gardner, Kingston, all over the area. Now, many of you, whether you own a house or you rent, you've had the experience of having to hire somebody in the building trades to fix your toilet, to do something electrical, and you've had that experience of feeling vulnerable and feeling uncertain of what you're going to have as an experience, right? You feel like you don't know what you're doing, and you have to rely on a professional. Now, one of the things that I truly love about the Carpenters Union and many of the apprenticeship programs that exist in the Laborers Union and the Electricians Union is how your sons and daughters that are in Kingston schools can come into our program and they will feel welcomed. They will feel that they can get a hand into an industry where they can make a livable wage. They can live in the Hudson Valley and raise children here. That is not something that exists in non-union construction. There is a reason why they project that they have apprentices programs, but they do not have apprenticeship programs that are substantive, that will offer a hand to the kids of Kingston, to the kids of New Paltz, all over the Hudson Valley, and bring them in and create an environment where they can learn and they can grow as people and into adulthood and learn a skill that will be transformational in their lives. And so I really want to implore you to think, and I know you will, I sincerely believe and have that you will consider everything that has been said tonight and think about what kind of world we want to have in the Hudson Valley. Do we want to create jobs for kids that they can really truly learn, for women and men, for all the diversity of the Hudson Valley, bringing them into the building trades? So I know I appreciate all of your time, and I really want you to consider everything that's been said tonight, and I hope that you do the right thing with the apprenticeship programs. Thank you.
Anybody else? Anybody on Zoom? Raise your hands. All right, I will close the public speaking portion of the meeting. You are all, of course, welcome to stay here. If you do leave, we ask that you're just very quiet. The sound echoes up and it makes it hard for everybody to hear. So if you do leave, if you could wait to talk until you're outside the building, we'd appreciate that. We also encourage you to stay for the meeting. Thank you. We're now entering into claims and communications. Hearing no discussion, they will be on file in the clerk's office. Can I have a motion to dispense with the second reading of the general bills and pay same? Motion by Rennie Scott Childress, second by Michelle Hirsch. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is adopted 7-0. We're now entering into the report of committees, starting with resolution number 124.
Resolution 124 of 2023. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, approving the transfer of $58,424.61 in the fire department to utilize funds in the mental health grant.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 7-0. Moving to resolution 125, please.
Resolution 125 of 2023. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, approving the transfer of $62,652.88 from contingency in the fire department to cover the expense of retirement accumulation.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 7-0. Moving to resolution 126, please.
Resolution 126 of 2023. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, approving the transfer of $39,000 in the police department to cover the expense of retirement accumulation and resignations.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 7-0. Moving to resolution 127, please.
Resolution 127 of 2023. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, endorsing support for trans art and cultural services for a grant from the National Endowment for the Arts for the Our Town program.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 7-0. Moving to resolution number 128, please.
Resolution 128 of 2023. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, making changes to the 2023 fee schedule.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 7-0. Moving to resolution number 129, please.
Resolution 129 of 2023. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, approving the transfer of $6,437.99 in the Corporation Counsel's Department to cover shortfalls.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 7-0. Moving to resolution number 130, please.
Resolution 130 of 2023. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, approving the transfer of $5,347.31 in the City Clerk's office to reconcile accounts.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 7-0. Moving to resolution number 131, please.
Resolution 131 of 2023. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, approving the transfer of $10,000 in the City Clerk's office to cover unforeseen expenses in plumbing repairs at City Hall.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 7-0. Moving to resolution number 132, please.
Resolution 132 of 2023. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, approving the transfer of $57,128 in the Planning Department to cover the expense of staffing levels.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 7-0. Moving to resolution number 133, please.
Resolution 133 of 2023. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, approving the transfer of $198 in the Office of Community Development to cover the expense of shredding fees as well as notary public renewal fees.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 7-0. Moving to resolution number 134, please.
Resolution 134 of 2023. An ordinance adopting Section 405.19 Affordable Housing Standards of the Kingston Forward Form-Based Code.
On the question? Alderwoman Michelle Hirsch.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to say that I do not believe that the affordable standards are low enough to meet the current housing needs in the community, and I will be a no vote. Thank you.
Oops. Anybody else? Hearing no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 6-1. The dissent is Alderwoman Michelle Hirsch. Moving to resolution number 135, please.
Resolution 135 of 2023, an ordinance adopting 405.16 off-street parking standards of the Kingston Forward Form-Based Code.
On the question, Alderman Rennie Scott Childress.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise to speak in favor of this ordinance. This is really important for us because there are a lot of new ways of thinking about parking, thinking about the relationship between automobiles, people on bicycles, people who are walking, and I'm happy to say that there is a resolution further down that demonstrates our commitment to finding powerful solutions, good solutions to the parking issue in our creation of a parking committee, parking task force. So I look forward to voting for this and for us to find some innovative ways that other cities have adopted that we can use to help in this process throughout the city of Kingston.
Thank you. Anyone else? Hearing no more discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 7-0. Moving to resolution number 136, please.
Resolution 136 of 2023, an ordinance adopting section 405.21D2 of the Kingston Forward Form-Based Code on the regulations of short-term rentals, creating 3 short-term rental permits and limiting full short-term permits to no more than 1% of the city's long-term housing stock.
On the question, Alderwoman Michelle Hirsch.
Thank you, Madam President. I have gone back and forth on this resolution. We have lost hundreds of homes to full-term, short-term rentals, and I don't want to lose another home to another short-term rental. So I'm actually not voting in favor of short-term rentals, but the enforcement aspect that we can close down at least 100 of these long-term, short-term rentals and get us back to the 1%. So I will be voting in favor. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Hearing no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 7-0. Moving to resolution number 137, please.
Resolution 137 of 2023, resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, accepting a finding statement for the Kingston Forward city-wide rezoning.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 7-0. Moving to resolution number 138, please.
Resolution 138 of 2023, an ordinance adopting the Kingston Forward Form-Based Code.
On the question, Alderman Rennie Scott Childress and then Alderman Carl Frankel.
Thank you, Madam President. I am pleased and honored to be able to vote in favor of this particular resolution. In a way, this is a culmination of a long aspect of my own life's work. The move toward increasing the ability for homeowners to have more freedom over their property, to add a unit or two, for the city to increase density throughout the city, this is powerful for lots of different aspects of our community. The first place that I find that it's really powerful is rooted in some of the research by some economists, Raj Chetty and Nathaniel Hendren, who've demonstrated that the most important single thing that a city can do to help its lower income, traditionally marginalized young people is to allow them to grow up in an economically diverse neighborhood. Even if they do not have a middle-class income, it's the fact of growing up in that kind of diversity. This is what we're calling for, a new kind of diversity in the city of Kingston. Moreover, what we're doing now is overthrowing a type of zoning that was developed in the early 20th century specifically to create racial segregation, known as Euclidean zoning. The idea was to try to develop a powerful way that cities could limit how houses were used. This was part and parcel of a large project that included red zoning and other practices to make it difficult for people of color to find suitable housing in American cities. I am so happy that we are now getting rid of this type of zoning in our town. That means that we are now on the books of creating a new kind of zoning, form-based code that will allow us to have greater use of our properties and develop a much more powerful social justice, even just in the way that we look at the way we zone our city. Moreover, this new zoning plan gets rid of all kinds of problems from our older zoning plan. It's much clearer. It provides very easy ways to look at what kinds of housing and building are allowed in different parts of town. I think this is such a wonderful development for our city, and I look forward to the development that will come here for people up and down the income scale. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Carl Frankel.
Thank you very much. These remarks are based on the assumption that we're going to approve this ordinance now. And it is a red letter day for the city of Kingston. In passing the new form-based code, we are putting ourselves in the forefront of positive change in many ways. First, as my colleague has noted, we are ridding ourselves of the unfortunate legacy of the prior zoning code, which had the effect of perpetuating racial injustice. We are also putting ourselves at the head of the pack for relative to comparably sized cities in terms of our journey toward achieving local sustainability. But perhaps I should reframe that. We aren't putting ourselves at the head of the pack so much as maintaining and affirming our position there. We are already a model for the rest of the country in terms of our commitment to being a city of and for a future that will require massive changes in our patterns of travel, living, energy consumption, and much more. I take my hat off to the people in city government who've had the vision and perseverance to make this happen. Although I'm not going to mention everybody, I specifically want to give a loud shout out to Mayor Steve Noble, who, as I see it and him, combines vision and administrative can-do-ness in remarkable and often unappreciated measure. An equal round of applause is due our housing director, Bartek Stardaj, who has shepherded the form-based code with massively impressive patience and consideration, and again, vision in the face of resistance that is rooted in affection for what was and fear of what will be. We have no choice as people or as a metropolis but to move forward. That is the trajectory of time, and with a form-based code, Steve, Bartek, and the rest of the form-based code team have positioned us for that journey superbly. I'm overreaching my rhetorical grasp here, but the term magic carpet ride comes to mind and came to mind as I wrote these notes, and that's a bit much, but still I'll leave it floating in the air because that's what the form-based code feels like to me, a magic carpet that we will be riding into the future. Close to 50 years ago, maverick architect Christopher Alexander wrote a trilogy of wonderful books, one of which, A Pattern Language, painted a gorgeous portrait of how to design right community living. The form-based code brings that great vision to life. So kudos, big kudos to one and all. This accomplishment makes me prouder than ever to be a citizen of Kingston. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing no one, Alderwoman Rita Worthington, please.
I figure I get in on the how happy I am that this ordinance, I'm assuming, will pass tonight. So I just want to, I'm thrilled to have been on this council to work on this project, on this initiative. And as both Alderman Frankel and Rennie Scott-Childress said, the one thing that this is going to do is going to provide for more equity and lead to equitable development. With the housing shortage that we have, it's going to provide more open ways to include everyone. And so I'm thrilled about that. I'm happy about that. And I also want to thank our housing director. I watched this man as he sat with this council time and time and time again and took our questions and sometimes took our punches. And he was so patient and considerate and explaining everything to us. Also want to thank my fellow council members for the hard work and the due diligence that you all put in to this. And I'm really excited about this, and more importantly, I'm happy that I was a part of something historic. Thank you.
Anyone else? Alderwoman Michelle Hirsch.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to say that I fully support the passage of this form-based code. There's a lot of it that returns the city of Kingston back to the small neighborhoods that they once were before the 1960s, where we had neighborhoods that were centered around our schools, our stores, and I look forward to having neighborhoods that are walkable. And I also am happy to see the ADUs be adopted into this code, as it will keep our families closer. We can keep our parents from going into congregate care. We can keep our children with disabilities at home. And so I think there's a lot in here that will be a very positive change for the city of Kingston. And also want to echo my thanks to Housing Director Bartek Sardash for all of his hard work and commitment to seeing this through. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Hearing no more discussion, I will happily call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 7-0. Thank you. It's a long time coming for the folks in the audience who have not witnessed this. This has been 5 years in the making. So this is a profound and historic moment for us. So thank you for bearing with us through my giddiness here. Moving to resolution number 139, please.
Resolution 139 of 2023. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing funding and establish a capital project for the design and engineering of a safe railroad crossing in the vicinity of the YMCA and the Boys and Girls Club.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 7-0. Moving to resolution number 140, please.
Resolution 140 of 2023. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing waiving the fee for active military service members purchasing a marriage license.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 7-0. Moving to resolution number 141, please.
Resolution 141 of 2023. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, repealing Resolution 204 of 2022.
On the question? Alderwoman Michelle Hirsch.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I would like to make a motion to send Resolution 141 of 2023, repealing Resolution 204 of 2022, back to Laws and Rules Committee.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Second by Rennie Scott Childress. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor here to table this back to Laws and Rules? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is tabled 7-0. Moving to resolution number 142.
Resolution 142 of 2023. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, amending Common Council rules to add a rule that all background materials must be publicly available to the extent practicable 48 hours before all committee meetings.
Just as a reminder, this needs a supermajority on the question. And if folks in the room, if you could, we can't hear, so you have to keep the chatter to nothing while you're in chambers. Thank you. On the question for resolution 142? Hearing nobody, call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 7-0. And again, if you could all be quiet in the back, please. Moving to resolution 174 or 143. Oh, sorry about that. I'm just moving along here.
Resolution 143 of 2023. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, establishing a parking task force of 9 members.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 7-0. Moving to resolution 144, please.
Resolution 144 of 2023. An ordinance amending an ordinance in relation to the traffic on the public streets of the City of Kingston, New York, adding handicap parking on Wirt Street.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 7-0. Moving to the second reading of local law number 6, followed by the vote.
Local Law 6 of 2023 of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing the amendment of Part 1 Administrative Legislation, Chapter 1 General Provisions by adding a section entitled Article 2 Conduct of Boards and Commissions.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Local Law 6 is adopted 7-0. That concludes our report of committees. And at this time, I would like to invite Barbara Hill up to the podium. Actually, all the way up here so that people could see you. You could do it. To me, yeah. Yeah. Barbara, we just want to honor your dedication and service for the year and a half that you served on the council with a lovely plaque. You didn't know this was coming, did you? I just want to say a few words about Barbara. I didn't know Barbara before she... No, it's not a roast because I'm not funny. Elise is the only one who thinks I'm funny. It's not a roast, but I just want to thank you. You brought a passion and drive to us on the council, but specifically for your constituents. You fought fiercely for what you believed in, probably more so than I've seen, and it was showcased specifically in the redistricting where you put in so much dedication and so much work. And I personally want you to know, and I know I've told you in private how much it was inspired by watching you do that and how thankful I was knowing that I could trust you shepherding such a huge task. And that, in 10 years when the council members, which won't be me, are here to do redistricts again, they'll have your footsteps to follow, which will be big footsteps. So I want to thank you for everything that you've done for us here, for the city, and specifically for Ward 1 constituents. So thank you very much. I don't know if anybody else would like to, I'll open it up to anybody. Yes, thank you. Before I turn it to Barbara, does anybody else have a few words who have served? I said, do you want to say a few words?
Well, okay, thank you. As you were speaking, Andrew, I remembered the night that I filibustered, reading all the comments that came in from people. Remember that, Rita? That was exciting. But anyhow, there were a lot of memorable moments. It's nice, like all the people I met along the way here. And it was challenging in Ward 1, but I showed up every minute for constituents. And I think a big part of this job is constituent services. We deal with really big issues here, and the work that everybody puts in, it's really in the dedication to public service is pretty profound. But I appreciate your words, as always, and thank you for the plaque. I thought I was going to get a gnome or something. All right.
Thank you, Barbara. And now I would like to invite Michael up to the hot seat. We've lost some really good, dedicated members, and sad to see them go, but proud of where they're heading. I met Michael right after he won the election. I think I actually sent you a message the next day. So, hey, let's meet. And I was so profoundly impressed that he brought a binder of what he was going to do to help. And that has been your year and a half of service. I always counted on you. You always came prepared. And I've said it numerous times to you and to so many people how I've always really appreciated your perspective on things, because I think you've made us see from different angles, which made us a better council. So I just want to thank you for your time. And I know, as I said with Barbara, the dedication that you gave your constituent in Ward 7, hosting meetings like you said you would, it was remarkable. So thank you, and I'm going to miss you quite a bit. So a little plaque for you. And I think we have a picture here.
When have I not turned down the mic? It's truly been an honor. I want to thank, still all the residents of Ward 7 that put their faith, their trust, and their vote in me. It was a tremendous honor that I never took lightly, and thank you to everyone else on the council for the advice, the welcoming that we had, and definitely Alderman Frankel for our fun banter that we had back and forth with each other throughout the time here. Again, it was a true honor, and I thank everyone down there, up here, in the audience, everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else have anything before we close? Alderwoman Michelle Hirsch.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I'm remiss in also thanking the community that gave so much help in getting the form-based code over the finish line, going all the way back to the task force that formed and the code advocate groups that included Tanya Garment and Junior Tampone that were along the ride for all of our charrettes. So I just want to say thank you.
Thank you for that. If I could speak, I would have be echoing that. Anybody else? Alderman Steve Shabbat.
Thank you, Madam President. I don't know if there's any other of our business. I'd like to close in memory of a couple friends. This gentleman just died a few days ago. Very surprised to hear. Pete Mills. Pete's a lifelong Kingstonian. We graduated high school together. I've known him since we were kids. He married my next door neighbor from the old neighborhood. Pete worked a long time for the post office. Pete liked to talk a lot. If you meet him at Dysing's, you're there for an hour with the guy. Real nice guy. Very sorry to see his passing. Leaves behind his wife and family. As I said, his wife Diane grew up almost right next door to me growing up. So going to miss Pete. And also, I just want to mention Jim McGarry. I knew Jim. We worked together quite a while for the County of Ulster. Jim was the DSS attorney there. Jim, I can't even read all the things this guy was involved in. He was a member of about 100 different things. Very active guy. He served in the Navy, went to Albany Law. He was on the very first Ulster County Charter Reform Committee. He was a Hibernian. He was a member of the League of Women Voters. He joined just about everything that he could get a chance to speak. So he leaves behind his wife. They've been married a long time, and 2 sons and three granddaughters. Sorry to see Jim go. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to close in memory of William Bill Tubby, who passed away this past Saturday. He was a native Kingstonian who attended school in Kingston, served in the United States Navy from 1957 to 1963. He worked at the cement plant in East Kingston, was a security guard at the Ulster County Office Building, Ulster County Mental Health, and at IBM Poughkeepsie. I'd like to close in Bill's memory. Anybody else? Alderwoman Rita Worthington.
Thank you. I think I would be remiss if I didn't maybe close tonight in honor of Dominique Green, who lost to gun violence on July 27th, 28 years old. And my relationship with Dom was, she was the niece of my late husband and the granddaughter of my sister-in-law, sister-in-laws. who have called me or who have been in such pain because of the senseless killing of Dom Green. So although I do not have the obituary, you know, I think that maybe we should say something in his honor, because it's a tragedy and it should not have happened. So thank you.
Thank you, Rita. Anybody else? Seeing no one else, I will stand for a motion to adjourn. If anybody wants to, motion by Michelle Hirsch, second by Rennie Scott Childress. All in favor? Opposed? We hereby stand adjourned until the next regularly scheduled meeting, which I will call, but it seems like it'll be September 12th, and I will make that official as soon as you guys all check your emails. We are adjourned.